We're here back in the Fantasy Bar. Week 14 is here, and we are back with 6 of my favorite plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including a couple running backs I think are too cheap in some good matchups. One game environment I want to target with a stack, some correlation on the other side, and a beast of the week I think bounces back and puts up a massive number. Who we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Week 14 edition Beers Daily Fantasy Six-Pack. Talking some NFL. Got 6 of my favorite plays ready for you, fresh off the tap. Thank you, as always, for stopping by the Fantasy Bar and checking out this week's video. Before we get into those plays, do me a favor. Take a second. Click that thumbs up button if you enjoy the content. You like hanging out in the Fantasy Bar. That's how we continue to bring you these free videos. So thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Hit that notification bell and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And check out splashsports.com/RotoGrinders. Tons of great contests still going on over there. If you haven't checked it out yet, now is the time. Something for everybody over there. Splashsports.com/RotoGrinders. More details in the link below the video. All right, last week, pretty solid. 4 of our 5 guys found the end zone for some reason. Trey McBride allergic to the end zone, but still ends up over 20 fantasy points. Anthony Richardson over 20, Mixon over 20, and a huge game out of Bucky Irving. Congrats to our beast of the week contest winners who won a free month of either RotoGrinders or Scores and Odds Premium, and we're giving away that same prize this week at the end of the video. All right, let's jump in. Let's start at the running back position. I want to go right back to the well. I'm Bucky Irving. Now, fantastic for us last week, and I want to go right back to him here in another good matchup. Yes, the prices are up. I don't think the prices are up high enough. Now, it does have that questionable text. We'll keep an eye on that here throughout the week, but that will keep the early builders away. Ownership likely doesn't get to where it should be in this spot. A lot of good running backs on the board this week, and each and every week, this guy's touches just continue to go up, all the way up to 28 last week. We talked about, looks like he's taking over that backfield. Rashad White isn't going anywhere, but Bucky Irving certainly in control. 25 DraftKings points per game over the last 3, 6.5 point home favorite, so a perfect game script for a running back here, and a decent matchup. Raiders bottom half of the league in fantasy points allowed to the running back position. Bucky Irving still too cheap, in my opinion, in a good spot against the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, let's stay at the running back position with Isaac Guerrero of the 49ers. Now, this one's certainly not going to be low owned, but my question is, he's going to be popular. Is he going to be popular enough? As we know, McCaffrey, Mason are out. Yes, they will work in some other guys like Patrick Taylor, but the 49ers rely on their running backs as much as anybody in the league. This guy has shown he can get it done in the passing game and has multiple explosive plays here on the season. So I love this spot for him. Just way too cheap. Cash games, I think he's a lock. And like I said, even in tournaments, yes, he'll have ownership. That ownership should be a lot higher than what we are seeing here early in the week. And Chicago's really struggled with the running back position. We're talking bottom 5 in rushing yards allowed this season and bottom 12 in DraftKings points. Isaac Guerrero just simply too cheap. Great offense here for the 49ers in a fantastic matchup with the Chicago Bears. All right, quarterback up next, and we are going with Sam Darnold of the Vikings. This is probably my favorite game environment here on the slate. Total should be a little bit higher, so this is an over bet I will be looking to make. A little bonus bet for you guys here, but this is one I want a lot of exposure to. Darnold, multiple touchdown passes now, 9 times this season, 5 of the last 6 he has done that, and giving us a little bit of equity with his legs as well, chipping in some rushing yards, couple games in the 30s, so those extra points can certainly add up. Falcons have had issues here with the quarterback position, especially those touchdowns. 7th most in the league at 21. We talked about Darnold and the multiple touchdown passes. 8th most fantasy points here allowed as well. Sam Darnold, my favorite quarterback for week 14. All right, we like Sam Darnold. Let's pair him up with tight end TJ Hockenson. So Hockenson too cheap in my opinion. FanDuel looks about right at 6,300. DraftKings should be above 5,000 in my opinion. The involvement in this offense, the target that he is seeing, great buy low here in this game. 9 targets already twice this season has shown us that 20-point upside that we know he is capable of in Atlanta. Not been horrible against the tight end position, but we're still talking bottom half of the league in fantasy points allowed. And look at who they played. They haven't played a lot of good tight ends, so it makes sense why their numbers don't look terrible. I think Hockenson can expose this defense, put up some big numbers, and too cheap at just 4,300. All right, let's go to the other side of that game. We like the game. Let's get some Atlanta exposure with Drake London. So as it says, great run it back if you're stacking the Vikings like I am, or even have a one-off play. It doesn't get much better than a matchup with the Minnesota Vikings. 4 wide receivers, not a team in the league has given up more fantasy points per game to wide receivers in Minnesota. We're talking bottom 6 in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns already allowed to this position. So no wonder those fantasy points are adding up. Huge 16 target game last season. That's already 5 games this season of 10 or more targets. I think he sees 10 or more in this game. Drake London, great spot here against this awful Minnesota secondary. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for Week 14. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Week contest. Easy to play. All you got to do, click that thumbs up button, head to the comment section, and guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my Beast of the Week. Whoever's guess is the closest, you get your choice of a free month of RotoGrinders Premium or a free month of Scores and Odds Premium. And while you're down there, who is your top play? Who is your Beast of the Week? Sound off in that YouTube comment section. All right, let's wrap it up with my favorite play. You know, Matt's Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. Normally we don't give you 4 plays from one game, but I love that spot so much. We're going to stay right there, go back to the Minnesota side with wide receiver Justin Jefferson, this week's Beast of the Week. So the old double stack here for us of the Vikings, and it's been we call it a tough stretch, as we say, quote unquote, for Justin Jefferson. Some down games in there, but even last week, 99 yards considered a down game for Justin Jefferson, but I think he bounces back here in a big way. Lowest price we've gotten all year on DraftKings. So you're buying low here on Justin Jefferson, and great at home, averaging over 103 receiving yards per game in those 6 home games. Falcons have struggled against the wide receiver position, bottom 7 in receptions, touchdowns, and fantasy points allowed. I think a massive game coming here for Justin Jefferson. Buy low while you can. Justin Jefferson, easily my favorite play on the board in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, that'll do it for our Week 14 six-pack. As always, any comments, questions, or feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, your guess for Justin Jefferson's fantasy output on DraftKings for a shot at a free month of RotoGrinders or Scores and Odds Premium. And who is your Beast of the Week? Sound off. Give me your top play in that YouTube comment section. You can follow me on Twitter at Beermakersfan. Check out splashsports.com/RotoGrinders and hit that thumbs up button if you have not already on your way out the door. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. Best of luck on this Week 14 slate, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.